Hello and welcome to another daily prompt video. So today's prompt is write a story that centers around playing a game, and I've titled it Follow the Clues. So yeah, let's get right into it. I woke up by the fireplace in the warm beige room. The ocean crashed outside the long window stretching across the entire length of the room. I wasn't alone. In front of me sat a man with his head slumped onto his shoulder facing the door. Blood dripped down the back of his neck. He'd been shot. Though I was panicking inside, I didn't want to show it. I wanted to show the sick killers, wherever they may be, that I wasn't a coward. I wasn't going to let myself become that dead man before me. I walked towards the door and went to pass the corpse before it reached out and grabbed my leg. I turned sharply to see the smiling dead man. 12 minutes until you die. Follow the clues and you might survive. He laughed as I jumped back in horror. What? I asked, bemused. 12 minutes until you die. Follow the clues and you may survive, he repeated. I wasn't taking any chances. I turned on my heel and ran for the door. It opened with ease and brought me out to a small enclosed corridor with 4 different doors, 2 on the wall opposite me and 2 at either end. As soon as I stepped out of the room, the door behind me closed and I heard the click of being locked from the inside. 12 minutes remaining, a hidden speaker declared. I looked to my left and ran to the farthest door, where there were no directions as to where I should be going, so I went with my gut. After opening the door, I found myself trapped in what must have been a cleaning closet. It was pitch black and I could feel the through wall surrounding me from every angle before me. A light flicked on from the other side of the wall, and it was then I could tell it was a window. A scene began playing before me. Time to open my present. It was my mother, offering a younger me my birthday present. It was incredible, watching my memories play out before me. I looked around and saw all my friends and family gathered around waiting. Balloons branded with the number 8 surrounded the room, my 8th birthday party. What did you get? Mother asked before the scene froze. I couldn't see what was in the box, only my face entranced by what lay within. Was this the clue? I thought hard about what my parents had got me for my 8th birthday. It took a while, but after clocking one of my friends wielding a pink balloon sword crafted by a birthday magician, I remembered. I got a Lego castle play set. The window blacked out once. I said the words out loud and the door swung open behind me. 8 minutes remaining, the tannoy declared. What? No way was I in there for 4 minutes. I didn't have time to waste. I had to keep moving. I ran towards the closest door and noticed something engraved on the doorknob. It was in the shape of an ice cream cone. I ran back to the door I just came through and noticed this door had an engraving to a balloon. Maybe, I thought aloud as I rushed to check the other 2 doorknobs, and sure enough, one had the shape of a heart and the other a castle on it. I entered that room. Again, it was the same. A blacked-out window was slowly lit up to show a scene. I was watching a field trip I'd been on with school to a local historic castle. I saw myself walking around with my friends, laughing about something. What is so funny, Mr. Andrews? The teacher asked my friend. Get a move on. Funny? What was funny? I thought. What were we laughing at? I tried bringing my memory back to that day and noticed something blurred out on Andrew's fingers. I tried getting a closer look, but my head just smacked into the glass. What is on his fingers? I struggled to think. 7 minutes remaining. I could hear the tannoy outside shout, which made me jump out of my skin. Chocolate? I asked, but the scene remained visible. Mud? Nothing. Then I remembered the doorknobs. Ice cream! I shouted. Andrews dropped his cream cone, and a swarm of ants got to it within seconds. The scene disappeared, and again the door opened behind me. 4 minutes remaining. My eyes widened in terror. No, I had 6 at least. What the heck? Then it hit me. I was losing time equivalent to how many doors I had left, plus the one I just finished. Last time it was 4 minutes removed. This time it was 3. The next would be 2, half the time. I had no time to delay. I grabbed the ice cream door and burst in. The scene which appeared made me feel nausea like I'd never felt before. It was the day I went on my first date, Valentine's Day 7 years ago. That's the day my grandmother died, and I had to leave the date suddenly and never saw them again. The scene shut off, and it took me a moment to understand what lay behind the last door. 2 minutes remaining. I shook my head in disbelief. Please, I'm begging you, don't make me relive that moment, please. Tears began streaming down my face. I stood frozen for a minute, staring at the heart scratched into the doorknob. 1 minute remaining. The sound slapped me awake, and I practically smashed through the door. My grandmother lay in her hospital bed, staring at me with pleading eyes. I looked at her life support machine, remembering fully well what she was asking me to do. I don't know what you want me to do. Please, just let me go. I waited for something, anything, but instead was met with 30 seconds remaining. I screamed, banging my fists against the glass until they bled. What do you want me to do? I couldn't look at the scene unfold. I already knew my hand was reaching for the plug. 20 seconds remaining. I opened my eyes, deciding I had no choice but to fully embrace the memory. I pulled a plug. I shouted. 10 seconds remaining. I slammed my hands against the glass, smearing blood on the glass that covered my face. 5 seconds remaining. Seeing myself through the bloody window, I knew what the answer was. I wish it had been me instead of my grandmother. The scene went black. I woke up on a chair in a hospital room. A person lay in the bed next to me. I didn't have to look at them to know they were dead. I could see the straight red line on the heart monitor telling me so. I got up to leave the room as quietly as I could, as the person reached out and grabbed my arm.